Hey there, Angie Wagler
And Paul Wagler.
for Arise Now.
And the 2-minute wake-up call.
Psalm 23 tells us that the Lord is our shepherd. We shall not want, or we shall lack nothing, or we shall lack no good thing.
Wow, that is a powerful declaration, because sometimes in life we feel like we're lacking things. We feel like we are in want, but Jesus wants us to trust in Him, that He will provide. And Angie, there's a story in Mark chapter 8 that I think kind of connects in with that. And in Mark 6, there's the feeding of the 5,000, and in the beginning of Mark 8, there's the feeding of the 4,000. And in both of these cases, Jesus says, we got to feed these people. And the disciples are like, well, we don't have enough. It would take all this money, or we can't find any place to buy the food, and on they go about what they don't have. Right. And Jesus says, what do you have? Well, in the Mark chapter 8, the feeding of the 4,000, they say, we have 7 loaves.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
and 7. And so, so with these 7 loaves, Jesus takes it, He gives thanks, and then God multiplies it in their hands, and they go about and they feed all of the people. All 4,000 of them were fed because Jesus didn't focus on what He didn't have. He gave thanks for what was there, and it was multiplied. Then in the verses that follow, they get in the boat and they're going across to the other side, and Jesus says to them, beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and the yeast of Herod. And the disciples are like, why is He saying this to us? Is this because we don't have any bread? And then Jesus says to them, why are you reasoning about what you don't have? And that is really an interesting phrase to ponder. Why do we reason about what we don't have? Well, recently I heard a teaching on this passage, and Bill Johnson was giving the teaching, and he said, any thought process that begins with what we don't have will need to be repented of. And I was like, oh, wow, I think I have had a lot of thought processes that begin with what I don't have. And Angie, as we talked about it, we realized that there's kind of 3 main areas that we've seen in our lives and in the lives of other people.
Yeah, so maybe this is the same for you. The areas that we find that we feel like we don't have enough, it's like we don't have enough time, we don't have enough resources or finances or money, or we don't have enough talent, or we don't have enough ability. We don't think we can do it, right?
Yeah, that's right. How many times have you said, oh, if only there was more time in the day, or if there was more money in my bank account, or if only I could do this like somebody else, or whatever, or I had more talent, skills, whatever it is. And that's focusing on what we don't have. But what does Jesus model for us in these stories? He models for us to focus and to give our attention, and then to give thanks for what we do have.
We do have.
Yeah. And then as we do that, our time, our money, our talents, and all of those things can be multiplied, and we can see God work in miraculous ways. So we want to invite you to let go of the focus on what you don't have, and to embrace the idea of giving thanks for what you do have, even if it feels like just a little bit, and watch and see what God will do. For the Lord is our shepherd, and we shall not
want. We're talking more about Psalm 23 in the next number of weeks on our Sunday morning with Paul and Angie, and we want to invite you to join us for that on Arise Now Facebook, 10 o'clock Sunday mornings. If you can't be there live, you can check the replay out later on Facebook or our Arise Now YouTube, or the website arisenow.ca.
Yes, so many good options to connect. And until we meet again,
stay awake
and stay alert.